What's up, Exit the Matrix family? Bob here. Hey guys, thank you for joining me on this morning talk. I hope all is well with you and yours. I kind of wanted to, I wanted to do more of a positive video today. Just seems like lately so many of my videos have been like black pilling people, and I really don't want to do that. The truth is tough, and we need to see things for what they are so that we know what we're up against and what we need to do. However, it does tend to I believe in the hermetic principles of balancing out the energies, and I think sometimes you got to do some lighter subjects and get away from all the super negative stuff. So I realize that as we're watching a lot of major things taking place in the world right now that could lead to even more major things, but let's pray and manifest positive outcomes in that. And just so you guys know, this is Friday morning I'm doing this video. You'll be probably seeing this Saturday or Sunday, because today when I get home, I have a video, an interview podcast I did Wednesday night that I'm going to be dropping today when I get off work. And I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. The guest, Jason, he's actually he's been following Exit the Matrix for quite a while. He's one of my regular Zoom participants. He's become a friend. He's a great guy. And we're going to be doing a really deep dive into non-duality. So, very smart guy. It's going to blow your mind if you can kind of hold on tight by the reins. The conversation goes really deep, and it makes you think a lot. So it's well worth your watch. That'll be dropping this probably late afternoon today. Like I said, I got to get home. I got to do a little bit of editing. I was able to finally get it all downloaded from Zoom yesterday. I was out of town. I meant to drop it yesterday, but some things came up, and I didn't want to drop it in the evening because I notice when I drop videos in the evening, it gets like no views. So it is really, good to kind of, I've learned to kind of drop videos around between 4 and 6 o'clock Eastern time. That tends to hit like a higher level of movement for viewership. So I try to time that. That's why most of my videos always drop kind of late afternoon, to early evening. But last night it would have been too late. So anyways, you guys are going to enjoy that a lot. And so stay tuned for that. That should drop today. This should drop tomorrow or Sunday. And I typically don't do videos on the weekends. I try to really separate family time. No, it depends. I do cut videos sometimes Saturday morning, so because I do work most Saturdays. So, but anyways, today, guys, I wanted to do this video on getting back to getting one with nature, with Mother Earth, with the elements of this realm. And I got to be careful with this because we know you're not supposed to make comments about this stuff, but let's just say nurturing your body positively with the elements of the earth, with what's here, because folks, we are made of all the elements, right? Earth, wind, fire, water, all of those. Let's see, was it earth, wind, fire, wind, right? Air, I guess. Earth, wind, fire. I think I'm saying those right. I need to go back and look at that old 70s group, right? They had it right. And of course, there's the fifth element, right? Ether, which we would call the quantum field. So that's the one that they scrubbed, from the public's a consciousness for the most part, right? That's the one that Tesla was big on. That's the one that the Hermetic principles lay heavily on. That's the one that manifestation and our direct connection with the quantum field, is a very powerful one, because that's the one that connects, our body, our mind, and our spirit. So, anyways, guys, so what am I talking about? Okay, well, let me start with the basic one here, because this is my favorite element. I'm very close to this element on a regular basis. I do meditation with this element, and that is the water element. As you know, our bodies are mostly made up of water, right? And we're constantly, water's in the air, especially here where I live. It rains all the time. It's high humidity. Here in Western North Carolina, it's basically a, what do you call it? Oh my gosh. Sorry, folks, the coffee hasn't kicked in 100% yet here. I will get into the flow here as we go. You guys know how it goes. Sometimes it takes me a little bit to get started, but rainforest, there we go. It's a rainforest, essentially. And I love to swim, and I just finally got my pool cleaned up again. A lot of times when I get home and it's a hot, sunny day, you will find me in my pool for a few hours swimming. I love the feel, and I love garnet hunting. My hands are always digging around in the creeks in the water, right? And so I do a daily meditation with water. Not always. I try to, folks. I try. Sometimes, you're just in a hurry, whatever. You're not, you're thinking about other things. But I will consciously, either verbally out loud or in my mind, I will do a prayer to the water element. And I'll thank it for what it does, for being a part of me, my body, and for the life-giving essence that water is. And I'll ask it to hydrate my body. I'll ask it to cleanse my body, cleanse my aura field, to help rebuild my body, strong, to wipe out any, parasites or negative things, bacteria, whatever could be in my body, to cleanse me out, to invigorate me. And that's typically a regular meditation that I do every day with the water element. And I tell it I love it, that it's a friend, because we have a symbiotic relationship. Water's in my body. I know it sounds woo-woo, folks, but you got to understand that all molecules in this realm, all energy, everything is energy, everything is consciousness. And the water elements are like a collective consciousness themselves. All of the water in this realm are all connected. And we are connected with that. And so when you're speaking to that water as you're meditating and you're taking a shower or a bath, it's listening to you, it's interacting with you. And it'll obey your commands according to the fifth element, the ether, that quantum field, because we have dominion over this realm, over the fifth element. We have dominion over all the elements, folks. But look, I find it better, right, once you know this, to not be commanding, but be friendly, right? If you're just going to be like, do this, do that for me, no, I'm firm, like, this is what I need you to do, but I tell it I love it. I appreciate what it does. If you do this, folks, just start with the water element and just do that meditation in the shower, the bath every day for 2 weeks. And I'm going to tell you, your skin's going to be softer. You're going to be, it's just overall, you're going to feel better, but I notice with your skin, it really helps. And I know women would probably love this, right? Because it helps hydrate your skin. You're not having to use as many creams and all that. In fact, you don't need to do any of that. Water is all you need, women, for your skin. You lost the connection to water. You make it your friend again. Understand how it helps you. And then once that you get that down, folks, now you can start moving to the other elements to help your body, right? Because it's hard. I don't know if we can use the HEAL, ING. I think that's they'll say that's medical advice or something, right? And get the video pulled. So I know it's ridiculous, folks. I mean, we can't even look. There's a reason why they're trying to make natural stuff. You're not allowed to say it, because unless you're talking about their magic potions and stuff, right? You're not allowed to claim anything, right? Well, like I said, we'll keep it read between the lines, folks. You get what I'm talking about. Now let's move on to sun, right? Which can be fire, sun and fire. They're basically the same, because what is the sun, folks? It's a flaming ball, essentially, right? Of burning gases. And obviously the sun is powerful. It's the most worshipped thing on this earth, right? The Son of God. The sun has risen, right? Resurrection of the sun after 3 days, right? Spring equinox. You guys, come on, folks. You all know where all that came from, right? I mean, yeah, anyways, let's not get into all that today. But anyways, folks, look. So I know people do sun gazing. There's different techniques. There's this thing where people literally will lay naked and let their try to get the sun on it. There's all kinds of weird meditations people do with the sun. But my favorite way to interact with the sun and to absorb its energy and to allow it to cleanse my body, to invigorate my cells, to fire me up, so to speak, energize me. On a nice sunny day, what I'll do sometimes is I'll go out on my deck, on my house, and I'll turn my face in the direction of the sun with my eyes closed, and I will stare at the sun, but with my eyes closed. And I will do this for about 5 minutes, and you can do a prayer to the sun also. Okay? And you'll notice you'll go through different you'll experience different things, like different levels of as it absorbs into your eyelids and stuff. It's a really weird experience. It's just do it. Try it if you've never done it. I don't believe at looking at the sun directly, or some people will do it right when it's getting ready to go at sunset or sunrise. They say it's safe to do. I don't do that, folks. Okay. I do it with my lids closed, but essentially just like the water element, I do a similar type prayer, but I change it up because sun affects us a little differently, right? But it can energize us. We can absorb those energy rays from the sun. It can fire us up. It can give us motivation and things like that. It kind of works in a different way, but it's part of us, just like water. And I'll do this prayer and meditation with the sun. And then when you look away, your eyesight's kind of different for a little while, right? Because of the effects of it on your eyelids, but you'll feel really energized afterwards. And I don't do this as often as I should, but I'd say about once a week I do a sun meditation. And then there's another meditation we can move on to, folks. The earth, right? Well, that's the grounding effect. Grounding. So many of us, especially people living in the cities, a lot of these elements, you get out of touch with when you're in the modern human construct of a cityscape and a townscape, right? A lot of times people get disconnected from these elements. And that's why our bodies are so unhealthy. And obviously, look, we're bombarding them left and right with everything you can imagine, right? So, this third type of meditation, this is a great way to meditate, is to go sit on the ground. But you can do different things, folks, to do the earth meditation, okay? A lot of times, you want to be touching the earth, bare hands or like I said, sitting on the ground, or a lot of people take their shoes off and they go barefooted and they go stand on the ground, stand in the grass, right? Maybe you go to the beach, walk on the sand, barefooted. We just got back from Amelia Island, Florida. That was our last vacation before my son probably is going to be going to college next year. So that was that was one of my meditations my wife and I did. We went each morning and would go out early as the sun was coming up. We'd walk the beach barefooted. And so, out here in the mountains, you got to be a little careful where you do this because it is, we have a million insects and bugs here in the Smoky Mountains, okay? So you got to be a little careful about where you do this out here. But me, I do what I do when I go garnet hunting. That's part of my grounding. Because I'm sitting on rocks, I'm sitting on the ground, my hands are digging in gravel and mud in the creek and picking up rocks and picking up gemstones and picking up sticks and leaves. And so when I'm going out hiking and garnet hunting, I'm grounding because I'm out there in nature and I'm touching the elements, of nature. I'm the plants and the living things and the ground and the dirt and everything. So, and another great way, folks, to do grounding where you're not, but maybe when you're doing it now, consciously think about what you're doing, and you can meditate and pray to the earth element while you're doing it, is gardening when you're digging your hands in the dirt and planting seeds and or maybe doing yard work. You're cleaning up debris and you're mowing the lawn and trimming branches. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but look, there's a thing to the old tree hugger saying, right? But every now and then just touch the tree and thank it for what it does, folks. Thank it for protecting your house with shade, for what it does for building the soil, for holding the soil from erosion, for absorbing the water, for the life-sustaining things it does, for being beautiful. I mean, on our property, we probably have 1,000 trees. We only have a little over an acre, but it's, we have like maybe a little acre and a half, little under that. But, our land is mostly forest. We haven't cut our trees down and put a bunch of grass. Forest comes right up to our home. It's our whole acreage is basically forest. So we have thousands of trees, and I have a favorite tree that reminds me of home, Colorado. I don't think it's a ponderosa pine because I think there's only a few of those at the highest elevations here in western North Carolina. But it is a type of pine tree that's similar to the ones we had back home in Colorado, like Austrian and ponderosa pines. And I love that tree, and it hangs over my deck, and I'll go up and I'll touch its needles when I'm grilling and stuff, and I'll thank it I'll talk to it. I know it sounds weird, folks, but look, nature will energize and heal you, okay? Nature will help give you insight. It'll protect your land and your space. If you're a friend to it, just be a friend. Don't be demanding. I'm not telling you to be demanding. When I say you have dominion over this realm and over the quantum field and over the elements, I'm not saying to rule over it like a king. Be a friend, okay? Be close to it. Appreciate it. Love it. And it will, in kind, take care of you back. And so that's what I do. I know it sounds weird. I sound like a hippy-dippy. Look, folks, I'm a complicated person. I'm a libertarian, conservative in some ways, and I'm a hippie in some ways too, okay, at heart. That's fine. We're all complicated, right? So that's, there you go. There's another element. And like I say, you can pray for the earth to positively charge your ions in your body, to pull the negative ions out of your body, to positively charge you, to cleanse your body. There's many things you can do in the prayer to the earth while you're gardening, while you're touching the trees or doing yard work or hiking or whatever you're doing, just standing on the ground barefooted, grounding. And then we have another element, air, right, folks? Sometimes we forget about air, but I mean, we need air to live, right? We breathe it in. So here's another one. You've heard of the breathing exercises, right? You can actually, folks, raise your spiritual awareness with breathing techniques. Not only can you make your body healthier by doing breathing techniques, you can clear your sinuses with certain breathing techniques, but you can raise the DMT levels. Your lungs create DMT, folks, naturally. A lot of times when people are meditating, when you're doing these different chants and stuff like the Hindus do, the reason they do that, folks, it's because it's a type of breathing exercise, and you're also putting a sound resonance in the air, but you're creating that movement of the air in your lungs, but you're not unconsciously or subconsciously doing it, you're consciously breathing. And when you do that, consciously breathe and meditate at the same time, it'll raise your DMT levels in your body. Your lungs will produce more DMT, and it'll give you a better meditation. It'll give you better visions in your mind. It'll raise your spiritual awareness. So this is an important one. Those of you that meditate regularly, and I'm not a very good meditator, so I got to get better at this. But if you incorporate a breathing technique into your meditation before you maybe get into that really calm state, it will raise your DMT levels. And then when you get into that calm meditative state, now you're elevated DMT level wise, and it's going to increase your experience. And not only that, folks, look, sometimes just like where our house is situated, we're about 3/4 of the way up on a mountain, and we get a breeze that comes up the valley, up, and it blows up through the face of our mountain where our house is situated. And so sometimes we get a really nice breeze, and it's nice because it, when you live in a really humid place, sometimes, mildew and mold and all that's an issue, but our house doesn't have that issue that much because we get a lot of direct sun on our house, and we get a constant breeze. Well, not always, but a lot of times coming up the mountain. So it kind of dries everything out. It keeps it dry, right? To a certain degree. And, but I'll go out on the deck when I feel those like breezes coming up, especially before a storm, and just revel in that, folks. Love the feel of that air on your skin, and it, and you can do a breathing exercise, and you can thank the wind for what it does and giving you life, right? And also you can breathe in good, positive, and breathe out negative. There's also, you can add that into your system too, as part of your, helping your body, right? So those are the main ones I want to talk about, folks. Obviously, the fifth element, ether, the quantum field. I've done videos on how to hack the quantum field and all that. So I'm not going to go into the fifth element. I really wanted to keep it to the four main elements that most people are aware of. I think it's something that people overlook, just those four main elements, folks. And when you're doing these when you're doing these meditations with those four elements, you're also activating the ether element. You're interacting with the quantum field because it's all connected, folks. So think about these. I just gave you just simple layman's ways to incorporate these into your meditation, into your daily routine. If you could do each of one of these every day for 2 weeks straight, I guarantee you, your body's going to feel better. You're going to have more energy. You're going to be healthier. You're going to you're going to have more clarity. You're going to be happier, and you're going to be more connected with the earth. Now, I live in a place where you're surrounded by nature all the time, but it's crazy, folks. Even when you live out here, it's weird how people just tend to overlook what they're surrounded in. I mean, we have tourists pour into the county I live in is a popular tourist destination, right? We have people all over the nation come there, from the big cities to, to go stay in the mountains, to, during the trees changing, to go hike the trails, like to camp, like all these things. And that's why they're getting out of the city and they're trying to recharge in nature. But I find the people that live here, like me, you start to, and I've caught myself before doing this too. I'm not saying I don't do this, but people forget what they're surrounded by and the beauty and the nature and they get disconnected from it, even living literally in the middle of a nature wonderland. So yes, even us that live in the country, that live in the mountains, that live outside of cities and stuff, we tend to start forgetting and overlooking our friend nature, Mother Earth, Gaia, Ki, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so just real simple things, folks, but these can be life changing, and I'm telling you, this can replace a lot of the stuff that you're artificially using on your body to deal with symptoms and with issues you're having, right? All these lotions and this and that and special things you're drinking and look, a lot of this stuff, folks, if you just build that relationship with nature and you appreciate it and you consciously connect with it and you think it and you love it and you talk to it, it will in turn do the same for you. And look, folks, I forget about this sometimes. I get out of practice. So when I'm telling you guys to do this, it's for your good. It's obviously free will, right? I'm also saying I need to do it more, okay? So just a real quick video today, guys, but a totally positive message. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And, guys, check out the interview with Jason when I drop that today, okay? And, of course, if you're getting this video, it'll probably be tomorrow. So make sure you go and check the videos on the Exit the Matrix YouTube channel, and you will see it. And enjoy it. It's about an hour and a half long, and it's an intense conversation. Jason's a great guy. Like I said, he's one of my regular Zoom people. He's just been great. He's been such a supporter of the channel, and we become friends, and we have the deepest, craziest conversations. And I'm telling you, folks, he would be the first one to tell you that these Zooms are amazing to do. And it really builds like a network on a different level, deeper connections. Like, look, the channel's not big, folks. I don't have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but I've got a handful of very loyal subscribers that I talk to on a regular basis, and I love it. And look, in a way, I kind of don't want to get too big because I like having the time to do this. Now, if I got to 10 to 50,000 subscribers, I might have so many people wanting to do these Zooms that it would be hard to do the regulars with the people I have now. So, and look, obviously the ones that do this on a regular basis would get priority when it got to that point. But maybe now this is the best time, right? When I don't have a lot of subscribers, but I have a few very loyal subscribers. And I want to start doing more of this, interviewing from within Exit the Matrix, the family. If you have some amazing things you study or research, get with me. If you want to do a video with me, we'll do a Zoom and we'll make it a video on Exit the Matrix. We can do it on any subjects. It could be aliens. It can be whatever, like spiritual things. It can be ancient history. It can be like Jason, non-duality, right? Anything, folks. If you're interested, I would love to have you on. So hit me up. We'll line up some Zooms. We'll do some videos, some podcasts together. I really want to make this about the Exit the Matrix family and build from within up, right? So anyways, guys, hey, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later.